And the energy of Elul is that examination. It's that being honest with ourselves and asking ourselves whether our inside and our outside are integrated, are a match.
Go to our website, which is HebrewLearningCircles.org. Go to Jewish Resources, scroll down to Parsha Videos, and you'll find the source sheet right there.
In the middle of the month of Elul, in fact, we're looking now at a beautiful full moon. This is today is the 16th, 10th sign of Elul of Tavo. The story of bringing the first fruits to the temple. It's actually is a big part of the holiday of Shavuot, the celebration of Shavuot. And from that, jump right into the essence of the month that we're in, of Elul. And Velakachta mirashit kol peri ha'adama asher tavi me'artzecha asher Adonai Elohecha noten lach. You should take some of every first fruit of the soil, which you harvest from the land, that your God Adonai is giving you. V'samta vatene, v'halachta el hamakom asher yivchar Adonai Elohecha leshaken shmo sham. And put it in a basket. Take note of the basket. We're going to be talking about this basket in just a moment. And go to the place where your God Adonai will choose to establish the divine name. Uvata el hakohen asher yeh bayamim hahem ve'amarta elav higadeti hayom la'Adonai Elohecha kivati el haaretz asher nishba Adonai la'avotenu latet lanu. You should go to the priest in charge at that time and say to him the following: I acknowledge this day before your God Adonai that I have entered the land that Adonai swore to our fathers and mothers to assign us. And the last verse, these are, by the way, chapter 26, verses 2, 3, and 4. Verse 4, Velakacha kohen atene miyadecha. And this is the whole point. The priest shall take the basket from your hand and set it down in front of the altar of your God Adonai. So you see this beautiful ceremony, ritual of giving, thanksgiving, right? Of bringing the first fruits to the temple in acknowledgement of the bounty of the land and the promise fulfilled of entering and inhabiting the promised land. Why a basket or a straw basket? A basket, by definition, is made of straw and is, as such, is perforated. That is important. So why a straw basket and not a clay bowl, for instance, or a sack? Is the packaging of the offering, or of anything for that matter, important? And why? What's in the packaging? Is there a specific quality of a basket that makes it a form of packaging that is especially fitting for a sacred offering? For this sacred offering, but really for in general, for performing this specific task that has to do with a sense of giving, of thanksgiving, right, generosity, etc. So the Ishbitzer says the following: V'samta vatene. So he zooms into that verse on the words, and you shall place it in a basket. And he continues, Vatene begimatria matov. So the numerical value of the word vatene, and if we add it up quickly, so we get nun is 50, tet is 9, 59, aleph is 1, so that makes 60, and vet is 2, so it's 62. The gematria, the numerical value of tene, is the same as matov, how good. We all know the song, Inne matov u'manai, shevet achim gam yachad. Inne matov, how good it is. So the words matov, you do the gematria, also turns out to be 62. V'zeromez ledavar b'ito matov. So the Ishbitzer says this is a hint to a verse from Proverbs, chapter 15, verse 23, that says, ledavar b'ito matov, to words that are said at the appropriate time are this good, matov. When something is done, when words are said, we all know how we can say the same words. There's a right time to say it, and there's a wrong time to say it. Context is everything. So if you're sharing your heart with somebody, at a time of some kind of auspicious moment where that sharing of the heart is appropriate and well received, but you say the same words sort of in a public setting or at a party, so it may not end that well. Vatene hisal shehi nakuv Moshe Pirshu. Vatene, the basket, is a container that is perforated, as it has been interpreted. Hainu sheyeh tocho kevaro. Meaning, what does it mean that something is perforated? Thus, what's inside is also what's outside, which literally means transparent. So what you see is what you get, or you get what you're seeing, right? So if you're offering a basket, let's say the basket is covered, through the perforation, you can see if there are oranges in there, or apples in there, or wheat. There's a visibility, there's a transparency. Its inside is the same as its outside, is also an idiom in Hebrew for honesty. This symbolizes honesty. That is the basket. And he continues, Ve'af davar שיהיה כוונתו לשם שמיים, אם נראה בו רעה לעין, לא יעשה זה. And even now he brings an example of how this applies. And even if something that you want to do from the purest of intentions, for the sake of heaven, is literally what he says. If it appears on its face that it is not a good thing, don't do it. So the way it appears matters. So if what you're doing for the sake of heaven does not also appear as being done for the sake of heaven, but appears as if it's a negative or destructive in some way, in some fashion, do not do it. Why? Because it's necessary, he says, that the way that that things should appear as they are inside. So tocho kevaro, meaning that when we say about a person that they're honest, that their inside is the same as their outside. You don't have to second guess them. What's presented is exactly what they mean. He reverses it and says the other way is also important. That varo ketocho, that the appearance should match the intentionality. In other words, if your intentionality is really good, is really pure, let the act also appear really good and pure, especially when we do an act of service, an act of ritual, like bringing the first fruits to the temple in recognition of our gratitude, of our bounty, of our blessings in life, of promise fulfilled, of our sense of providence and our generosity, our wanting to bring back. That offering should be transparent. We should not brush off appearances that are inappropriate and say, well, the intention was, intention was good. That's good enough. Now, here we are in the middle of the month of Elul. We are called to, the essence, the energy of this time is to clean the slate. This is the last month of the year. And before we're going to enter the new year of Tishrei on Rosh Hashanah and the 10 days of awe, Rosh Hashanah leading up to Yom Kippur, we want to clean the slate. We want to examine the past year. And the energy of Elul is that examination. It's that being honest with ourselves and asking ourselves whether our inside and our outside are integrated, are a match. Now, we know that life by inertia will cover up our best of the inside with a lot of dross. Sometimes you'll have a prickly outside. You and I will have an outburst, a mood, a bad day, something that was said not the way it was intended. Maybe with impatience, with anger, with short-sightedness, with unawareness, unconsciousness. And often we leave it at that. That is the last mark or the last impression that we will have with someone. And we plop negativity in somebody's lap and moved on. The work of Elul is to go back and look at where did I not close the loop in a conversation, in a relationship with somebody, and make sure that the last impression I'm leaving, not impression as of wanting to make an impression, but the last impact was one of disturbance. And the calling here is to go back and repair that and leave a last impression or close that loop, close that conversation with clarity, with authenticity, with reconnection, with something positive and constructive, something that will take both yourself and the other person up a notch, like a quantum leap into a new possibility in relationship. That is the work of Elul. So it's very simple. You can see that the Ishbitzer's teaching on the meaning of a basket is, even though it's in the context of the celebration of Shavuot, it's appropriate for this time as well. Because every interaction that we have is potentially a bringing of first fruits. It's potentially a sacred act of a relationship, a model for a relationship, not only between another person and myself, but between God and myself. I want to share a brief teaching. This is really sweet, about Elul from the holy Rabbi Isaiah Horowitz, the author of the Shnei Luchot HaBrit, or what's called the Shla. He's a 17th century great, and he says the following: it's the custom of our people, of the people of Israel, to afflict ourselves from the first of the month of Elul until Yom Kippur. In what way? Those are days that we say prayers of forgiveness. And this comes out of this custom comes from a verse in the Song of Songs. Ani ledodi vedodi li. I am to my beloved, and my beloved is to me. Which the acronym of Elul. So the month Elul is Aleph Lamed Vav Lamed, and that verse Ani Aleph Ledodi Lamed Vedodi Vav Li Lamed. That is the word Elul. The Sofei Tevot, and this is what is interesting. Sofei Tevot, the ends of all of these 4 words in the verse are all the letter Yud. Listen to this. Ani ends with Yud. Ledodi with Yud. Vedodi, Yud, Li, Yud. It's E, 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 E. The sound E is typically a Yud. So 4 times Yud. Keneged Mem Yamim. You add them up. Yud, by the way, the numerical value of Yud is 10. Add it up, you get 40. Those are 40 days of purification and asking of forgiveness. And he brings another verse from Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 6. Umal Adonai Elohecha et levavcha ve'et levav zaracha. Now, that's the last verse from. There's a few verses in that chapter that tell us what will happen when God forgives the people of Israel who are now in exile because of their kind of losing their way, and will bring everybody back from exile to the land of Israel, and will circumcise their hearts and the hearts of their descendants. So the words, your hearts and the hearts of your progeny, et levavcha ve'et levav zaracha, also have the acronym. The first letters are Aleph, Lamed, Vav, Lamed. You also get Elul, Shechodeseh Muchan Teshuvah, which shows us that this month is the month for Teshuvah, for correcting course. Mistabra me'achar shu hachodesh ha'acharon me'hashana לעשות בו תשובה על מה שפגם כל השנה. And from this we learn that because this is the last month of the year, this is the time to correct everything that has been, you could say, corrupted during the year. So, ולא יכנס בראש השנה שהוא יום הדין מתועב ממעשיו הרעים. And a person should not enter the new year with soiled or tainted from one's wrongdoings. But use this month to clean the slate. Beautiful teaching about Elul. May we should still be blessed, especially now in smack in the middle of the month with the full moon, that the light of the moon guides our way as we go into the darkness of our own the existential journey and come clean for the new year. Amen. Thank you for learning together. See you next week. Shalom for now.
Today, thank you, everybody. Again, click subscribe button. Doesn't cost you anything. We really appreciate that. Like to have that extra layer of connection with you. Like and subscribe. Come back.
Mayim rabim lo